This is the minor side of life. And now, Rob Sternberg.
Thank you, Pete. And we'd like to welcome in Taylor Edmonds. Taylor, I told you the thank you, Pete, was coming. And I didn't
prepared for it.
I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
How's it going, Rob?
It's going great. We're here. Well, you know, it's not a coincidence that we're doing this week, not last week, this week, because it is, of course, Super Bowl week. Super Bowl Sunday coming up. And Taylor, who I start before maybe I interrupted myself. I do a lot of interrupting here on the minor side. Either way, Taylor, you are the general manager of the Gorilla Sports Properties, and that's right?
Correct.
Okay, and that's in Kansas.
Correct.
Pittsburgh, Kansas, as a matter of fact, which I had, believe it or not, I had heard of before you got the job there.
Okay.
Coming from Northwest Arkansas, I knew all about Pittsburgh, Kansas.
Okay.
That being said, you are a big Kansas City sports fan, Royals and Chiefs, and went to the zoo, as they say, and you got a nice little run here with Kansas City sports, but more importantly, right now, the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl week. You've been tweeting videos of yourself watching the Chiefs game. Do I have that right?
Yeah, I mean, a momentous occasion like last year, our first Super Bowl in 50 years. You end up celebrating pretty hard, and you kind of want to catch that sort of stuff on video. Was that a completely sober Taylor Edmonds in those videos you find on my Twitter? Absolutely not. We had to camp out at our favorite watering hole, Harpo's, there in Kansas City, pretty early in the day, and had to make sure that we paid our dues to the staff throughout the day in order to maintain that spot at our favorite table. So definitely, if you watch those videos, you can tell we've been through the ringer, so to speak.
Yeah, it's funny, and I got two questions just off that before we actually just get into the game. One, since I had a bar that I went to growing up, and they had what you call buybacks. The bar, they took care of you. Mm-hmm. So every couple of beers they threw you one. Every couple of shots they threw you one. Since I moved the first time, like off Long Island and out of New York, you don't really get that. Not that I've found. You got to go to the right place.
Yeah, well, I guess the question with that is, do you want to be the type of person that goes to the bar enough in order to get that type of service? Right? Like,
well, now only because you brought it up. Only because you brought it up is that a question, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, if you take care of the staff, I believe that they'll take care of you. As with anything in life, right?
But I just found my point was, I guess, is that I haven't really found that service. And sometimes it's like, if you're going to Applebee's over and over again, which I've had, I've had a couple of runs, not totally sustained at Applebee's, but like you don't get that there. If you're going to the Wild Wings, and the Wild Wings is worse, for like a because that's where they're making their money. But that was just one thought I had as you said that. The other one, and maybe I'll find this, is that I wasn't giving you shit for recording yourself and posting the videos at all. And as a matter of fact, the first Giant Super Bowl against the Patriots, I have video from said bar as well. So I got you. I got you.
Yeah, and today's Groundhog's Day, which is
Again.
appropriate because everyone's taking that little walk down memory lane. It's kind of ostentatious, but we call ourselves Chiefs Kingdom. But yeah, it's been kind of cool today to see like my friends and some acquaintances and everyone just sharing videos of themselves with their dad or their mom or their brothers and sisters. Or I had a couple really good friends, Alex and Hillary and Tom, who all were at the game, and they were sharing their pictures from inside the stadium. And it was really cool to see just how much that impacted people. And if you go to my Twitter, you can see how much it impacted me. My God, but and honestly, truthfully, like my favorite picture or memory out of all this thing is, obviously I went to the bar with all my friends, but I went to Dick's Sporting Goods on 119th and Knoll in Kansas City and got a flag, a poster.
You didn't go to the Academy Sports.
I got 2 hats and a couple T-shirts, and I went straight to my folks' house and I took a picture of me and my dad both holding the Super Bowl champion flag, and that's probably going to be my Facebook profile picture from now until the rest of time. It's probably my favorite picture of me and the old man, who it's his fault. I am the way I am. So it's kind of a cool reminder of how the industry that you and I have decided to pursue, Rob. I mean, even though we're workers inside it, we still kind of have those memories, and it kind of hits you in the warm, special part of your heart, right?
Oh, I thought you were going for the feels. I
Yeah,
thought you were
right.
going to drop the feels.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm sure those Giants games.
Right, and this kind of leads me, and it will eventually get to the game, because what I was going to say was that the first time seems, in theory it seems sweeter. It's the first time, unless, well, in my case, I happened to be at the second game.
Oh, that's awesome.
But unless, so cross it out that you're there. Yes. Which, by the way, are you going to go to the game? I know I asked you, but did you change your mind? Are you going?
No, I have not scored tickets quite yet.
So how are you going to watch the game?
I think I'll be heading up to Kansas City. Be watching with a couple friends.
Big old get together.
Yeah, we're gonna have a huge super spreader event. That's kind of the plan right now.
Good. Right there in the Power and Light district, or
no,
yeah,
we're just gonna be watching
be
my girlfriend Christy's apartment. She lives up there in Kansas City. She lives there in the Plaza area. I think a couple of us will get together and.
Do you remember we were walking in the street? We were on the way. We were walking somewhere, and
yes, absolutely.
Someone asked us for directions.
Yeah, we were I think it was Broadway. We were on Broadway, kind of near John's Big Deck, that bar area in Kansas City. Yeah, and a guy clearly lost. Rolls his window down. You and I were going to. I think we were going to buy either a 6-pack for the hotel or a pack of smokes or something. And the guy goes, "Hey, how do I get to Power and Light?"
His girlfriend was sitting, or his lady, was sitting next to him.
Yeah, and I told him, "Oh yeah, it's that way. All you gotta do is just flip a bitch, and you'll be right there."
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it
before.
Yeah, well,
never heard it.
You know,
He drove away. I said, "What did you say to him?" You repeated, just
Flip
flip
a
a
bitch.
bitch, flip a bitch. And I said, if I was him, I would have got out of the car.
It did, but what happened? He did exactly what I suggested that he needed
He
to
did.
do.
He
So
did.
um, now, is that it? Like, I obviously, like, it's sort of like a colloquialism or some kind of idiom relative to the Midwest, but I just did a quick Google search. It's on Urban Dictionary. It's not just
With
something
the
that I
correct.
came up with.
No, and I didn't think you did. I've heard it since. That was the first time I heard of it.
Really?
Yeah. And that's why I was so like, how's this guy still in his car?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. Like, so Christy, my girlfriend, she's actually from Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah. So, but here's something that I never heard anybody say. We were at a movie
You
a while
made
back.
whoopee?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were at AMC actually. Um,
You
or
made,
somewhere
you
with
went to, what? You went to AMC and made whoopee?
no, we went to a movie at AMC,
Okay.
and she told me to chunk my trash into the trash can,
Yeah. Never heard of that yet.
and I said, "What?" She said, "Chunk it," and I went, "Nobody says that." And, I called her an idiot and all that kind of stuff. Well, and then I got on the internet, and it's something that tons and tons of people say in your part of the country there, and
You shouldn't call
Texas.
people idiots,
Well, yeah. I mean,
especially your girlfriend.
yeah.
Especially if
Well,
you're trying to make whoopee with,
that's an
which
entirely
I thought
different
you were saying.
conversation.
Sure. So we'll steer it back here. We were in Kansas City, of course, Chiefs, but the first time being sweeter than the second time. And then it's like, it really is tough because I would say the first time would be sweeter, except, obviously going to the game. No, is that, if you beat the Patriots and, the immortal Tom Brady, if you do it twice, which, with your boy over there, he's got a shot to do that. Not obviously not the same Patriot team, but he's got a shot to slay the beast twice.
Yeah, it's some pretty rarefied air. First non NFC East opponent to take down Tom Brady if we're able to do
And it
it.
would be the first to do it
Uh,
twice. The second to do it twice. You
yeah,
know that.
yeah. You, you
And the
know,
first, and it would be the first starting quarterback as well. You know, it's
correct.
amazing with Foles over there.
Well, I mean, we could get into a conversation
I
about
don't. We
Carson
can.
Wentz and his scruples, but
We can. I definitely rather not, because
uh,
we got a lot of stuff with Big T to talk about here. We got, your time, what you got going on, how you made it through this, or are making it through this coronavirus scenario over at how the gorillas are doing, are going through that. We got the rest of your resume to go through, so I I would rather do that, quite honestly, than talk about Carson Wentz and the Eagles. And more so, the other day, you're pretty pumped up about this Sunday.
yeah, and so here's the thing. Um, I was talking with some friends this weekend, and this whole 2 weeks to the Super Bowl, it's really interesting because it's just such a slow grind of waiting for the game, and it's sort of like you go through phases where, and this might be me because I'm a lunatic, but last week was a whole lot of irrational confidence. Um, we won the AFC
But you get
Championship.
nervous. You get nervous before games, though. You get
Yeah, yeah,
nervous.
I do. And I think that's good, to have some nervous energy. But as your Tony Romos start laying out, what the stakes of the game are, and Colin Cowherd start planting the seeds for their
Don't fucking
narrative
listen to Colin
coming
Cowherd,
out of the
please.
game, and hear it, like the kind of the what this means for my guy Patrick.
Is there a way? How about this? I'm not going to ask you to win final score. I think we both believe that Kansas City will win. I happen to think that they'll win by a pretty good margin. What? How do you not see them winning?
A couple things. I mean,
Should I write them
first
down?
of all, our offensive line is in a state of disrepair right now. Mitchell Schwartz has been out since the first Bills game with a back injury that might be career-ending. And then our starting left tackle, Eric Fisher, blew out his Achilles in the AFC Championship game. And he was the number 1 overall draft pick, Andy Reid's first year.
So whoever's left standing, they're going to have their hands full with old JPP there.
Yeah, we're on our backup left guard.
Hands full.
Yeah. So in the roadmap to beating the Chiefs is you got to get home with 4 rushers. You have to, because Mahomes is historically one of the greatest quarterbacks against the blitz that the league has ever seen. So rushing 5 and 6. Especially when you have weapons like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and a dude like McCole Hardman who can bust a big one at any time, and looking like Sammy Watkins might be able to get back in the mix as well. That's kind of the recipe. You got to get home with 4, and you got to force turnovers.
Where do you rank Mahomes quarterbacks of the last 25 years?
Man, like I'm obviously incredibly biased, but like your dudes like, okay, Tom Brady is obviously number 1.
How about this?
You got Peyton Manning, you got Drew Brees, you got Elway, you got Young, you got Favre, you got the later half of Marino's career there. I mean, those are the types of dudes that we're talking about, that Mahomes is, I think, already put himself in that type of category. Now, is he, do I think he's better than a Troy Aikman? Yeah. Do I think he's better than
if he wins this game on Sunday, where is he?
Man, I mean, I think, gee whiz.
Gee whiz.
He's pretty high up there, man. Honestly. I mean, because if he wins this game, that's 2 in his pocket by the time he's 25, and he just needs to keep going, like on his current trajectory, and that's not even from a winning the Super Bowl perspective. If he just keeps putting up the stats and wins that he's putting up, I mean, he's gonna put himself in the conversation. I to sit here and say oh well, he's going for Brady.
He's clearly going to be the greatest of all time.
Well, it's pretty hard. I mean, 10 Super Bowls. That is, I mean,
yeah, 10. And I said something the other day. It was he's got 10 Super Bowls, or he's gone to 10 Super Bowls. What is he, 6-3? And this will be his 10th, and he's 6-3. and there's people that don't, that don't like him. And somebody said, yeah, it's like LeBron. Is it like LeBron?
I don't know. Like, did people like UCLA in the 60s and 70s? Did people like the Cowboys? Like, I mean, there's people.
They're polarizing. You have
there's
half the people that love him and half the people who hate him.
Yeah, I mean, there's people. There's people who love Tiger. There's people who hate Tiger. I think it's kind of crazy. I mean,
That's fair.
Brady's taken our lunch money in the playoffs a couple times. That AFC Championship game.
Oh, my boy Doug Kyed from the Patriots beat. He had a quote from Travis Kelce that said like he's never beaten Tom Brady in the playoffs or something like that.
Yeah, and he said something like, and he's definitely aware of that. Yeah, so it's like, Rob, I will say, I think you might be potentially. There's a word I'm looking for.
I'm here.
The fact that the Giants were able to vanquish him twice in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Vanquish. Is there a better word to describe what you guys did in 2007?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Vanquish. And if you could work vanquish into things, I think you deserve some credit.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm just saying, like, he's never taken your lunch money like that. So, like, what is it? He's beaten like three-fourths of the league in the playoffs at one point or another.
And the best. So, and that's why one thing, and I know we're going way kind of off topic, but I don't want to can of worms and Phil Rivers, and some of these other guys like a Phil Rivers, if you never beat the guy once, I don't want to hear it.
Well, I mean, I think there's one person who put that most eloquently.
Go ahead.
And it would be Mr. Ric Flair. When talking, I believe it was Ricky Steamboat, who was the champion at the time. But what did he say?
Are we saying to be the man, you got to beat the man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. So, I mean, has Tom Brady at like a macro level is the greatest. The past few years, has he been like a great quarterback?
The fact that he flipped the script on the franchise. This is like now, and you could say, well, Peyton did this to Denver. No, he didn't.
He came in because
they went to the championship game with Tebow,
but they built a defense beat off of them by the Seahawks. And then that Super Bowl that they won in 15, I mean, they benched him.
And so like when was it like when Montana went to the Chiefs? So you could talk about all these guys that people do change teams at the end of their careers, and it's usually not for the better.
Well, Montana did take the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
And they lost to the Bills. So,
but nobody in 1 year turned around a team like this.
Correct. I mean, it is a testament to, culture. Like, there's something to
absolutely
someone coming in and bringing a culture alongside them.
I guess we'll use that the culture, and we'll put a button on that, so to speak, and we'll come back to it maybe at the end. But we'll talk about culture. We'll roll with that into your resume. We'll talk about Edmonds a little bit here, because you're in Pittsburgh, Kansas now. You went from the sports talk radio business, and now is kind of where you cut your teeth in sales. Would you say that? And kind of were you like a I'm going to use a total wrong metaphor here, but were you in like a bull in sheep's clothing, or were you got your like eyes wide open in the big city? Walk me through all that, like starting out as a salesperson, because coming from Omaha, you didn't sell too much.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, the sales I did in Omaha was mostly inbound. I mean, I got the odd ticket group
there
on
you go.
the
There you
Cambria
go.
party deck or uh, the
CKF.
CKF party deck or the odd
Yeah, it was
suite every now
one
and
had the
then
first
out
base
networking
side,
or something like
the other
that.
one had the
But
third base side.
most everything I did was inbound, doing birthday parties or any of the community relations stuff that I was involved in. Um, yeah, and it's kind of funny when I went and told Marty, "Hey, yeah, this is what I'm doing." Um, he told me, "Yeah, well, that'll be tough," and he was right. But yeah, going to Kansas City and getting involved in the radio sales biz. Um, it felt like it felt like it was time from my time in Omaha. I think if you would have asked anybody up there, I was ready to kind of take a bet on myself and see if I had what it took to maybe take that next step in the career. Um, so yeah, that's what I did. I went down to
Was
Kansas
it
City.
more? How about this? Was it more of a grind
It's a
than
diff,
minor league
it's
baseball?
it's a different grind, Rob. It is the sales grind all year. You're thinking about the way your salary works. It's a draw against commission. So you have to make sales in order to justify your wages, in order to stay above water and not have to tell the boss that why are they crediting my paycheck to me. Um, and the other thing was coming from Omaha to Kansas City. The first big thought that I have is like, okay, we're going to a bigger market. There's going to be plenty of opportunity
Uh,
to drum up new business and really really grow my network and get an awesome book of business here. And what and this might be just a complaint from someone who didn't have the success they were looking for, but there's a lot of sports radio and talk radio. There's certain there's demographics on each of these stations, and there's only a select amount of like clientele in Kansas City that might fit into that type of demo. So like your casinos, your car dealerships,
Senior
your
living.
yeah.
That's a good one.
So you you find out pretty quick, like, oh man, there really isn't as much meat on this bone as I thought there was. Um, so let's we got to really hit the pavement as hard as we can. Um, and then a couple things break your way, a couple things don't break your way. Um, but I'm really thankful at the end of the day that I went down and decided to sell radio because um, taught me to grind in sales. Kind of made me recognize how much I really enjoyed sports, like selling the event.
Mm-hmm.
That the atmosphere with the fans. Working at sports radio gave me some cool access. I was able to go to some events. I was able to meet some cool people, but nothing really beats just being at the game and doing that type of work. Um, so
But
it gave me an
yeah,
appreciation for kind of what I left behind. It taught me some really valuable lessons about sales, the process, what it takes to be successful. I took some lumps, but I came out on the other end and ended up working at the Kansas City T-Bones right thereafter, which
oh,
are now
that's
the
right.
the Monarchs. And
Oh
then
yeah, I like that. I like that rebrand. That was a good job.
I think that's really cool. they've their new owner, they sold in 2020, either early 2020 or late 2019.
Yeah, that's a good move. That is a really
and
good move.
and there's a lot of potential at that stadium, for partners, for season ticket sales.
How is the stadium itself?
You know what? This When I got there, you know, the people that I worked with directly, Chris Brown, Scott Steckley, you know, those guys that I worked with, those guys did a really tremendous job. Kyle Disney, the ops guy, and Nathan Miller, who did the.
So how is the stadium? Is it a new stadium?
Well, it was built, I want to say in 2002, and it needs some capital improvement. And the new ownership that's come in, I think has taken on some of those costs, and has kind of made their relationship with the unified government up there a lot better. And I think there's a way forward for that franchise in order to get some of those capital improvements and really invest in making that stadium and that brand as strong as possible, because I think there's a real market for that affordable family fun up there in Kansas City. But
with the rebrand in particular, you know, that's a lot better deal than, you know, the Kansas City T-Bones. No offense.
Oh yeah. I mean, the T-Bones. It was a fun brand that people knew.
Let me ask you: did you guys use the blow up dinosaurs?
No, we did not use the blow up. We had a. I can't even remember what the mascot's name was.
Okay.
Shit. It'll come to me like 1 o'clock when I'm lying in bed tonight.
Was it Tony?
But yeah, Tony? You can tell I'm trying to dance through this because I don't want to.
Tony the T-Bone?
Oh God, I'm just gonna look it up.
And we'll work it in right here because the blow up dinosaurs on field are a great promotion. Those are on field promotions, though. If you want to talk promotional giveaways, then all conversations certainly start at Promotional Adventures. Probably in there as well. If you are doing any of the ordering of any promotional items for your teams this upcoming season, and there will be a season, if you do one thing, make sure you get in touch with Dustin at Promotional Adventures, whether it's polyresin items like bobbleheads, stadium replicas, novelties like batting helmets, and who can forget about items to keep your guests clean and environments safe, like branded hand sanitizers and masks. Nothing says we care in 2021 quite like branded hand sanitizers. And if you got a need or are looking to deliver for your fans and sponsorship clients, get in touch with Dustin right now, right this second, via email. He may not answer right away, but he will, depending on what time you're at. He's on the West Coast, by the way, so he may answer. Dustin at promotionaladventures.com. Him and his team will not let you down. I do know from personal experience, they will not let you down. One more time, Dustin at promotionaladventures.com, and their specialty catalog is available at promotionaladventures.com. Terry? Was it Terry?
No.
Tori.
Sizzle.
Oh. Sizzle. We had a Sizzle in Omaha.
Yeah, well, how many mascots do we have in Omaha? 7?
6? 6?
Well, and they've added more since we left.
Yeah.
Tsunami.
And it's a female. Is it a female Stormy?
Is it Stormy's girlfriend or sister?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, God bless them for that. So, that poor mascot room. Whew.
Is Stormy still there?
I believe so.
Good for him.
I think it's still my guy JP.
Oh, you ruined the gimmick, T.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
But I'm glad he's still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you doing? What did you do in with the T-Bones?
I did. I got into the sponsorship sales
Okay.
side of stuff. Um, got in kind of late, like maybe a month and a half before the season. But was I think kind of getting back to what I know with minor league baseball and the events, we were able to have some pretty good success, building a pretty good book of business, and
Oh, there it is. The old
you know,
B.O.B.
yeah, yeah. Well, I was pretty proud of the work that I did in that one season there. Pinned a couple pretty cool deals.
Yep. And
Here's the one thing that I am most proud of. I signed a deal with the Dave and Buster's near that stadium, and by God, I sold them the balloon bust.
Oh, you gave him the balloon bust.
I gave him the balloon bust, and it was.
Were you the MC? Were you the MC?
Unfortunately, I was not.
Somebody thought they were.
The promotions manager Morgan. She was a great MC. But I was able to get onto the PA from time to time.
Oh,
so,
okay.
You can't keep the mic out of my hand that long.
Which I don't think you did. You didn't do that in Omaha. You were just the MC.
Besides a couple of special events here and there up in Omaha, your odd high school game, it was mostly MCing up in Omaha.
Here's what I'm doing this year. It hasn't happened yet, but it's almost done. We're going to get high school students to work the high school games.
There you go.
Something that should have been done a long time ago.
That sounds like an enriching experience.
You know what? I would have loved to do that. Yeah,
to show some kids the ropes, show them how it works, let them get a taste before they head to college and figure out if this is a career that they'd like to pursue. What a great idea by you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help the community. You know that?
Well, that's the real key to being a successful franchise.
And a community relations person.
A good community partner like that. Yep. Man. My God, you're doing it.
And I got to just roll into community relations. That was my move right there.
All right.
I don't know if you saw this, but I put a picture up on Twitter. And you were giving a tour. I mentioned it to you the other day.
Yeah.
Have you seen the picture?
I did. I got to look at it. Oh man. Hey, Rob, I wish I could tell you I remember that. And I don't know if I can't remember it because we did so many damn tours to groups like that, or if that was just
who'd you learn your tour from?
Tour that I pulled out of my memory. But yeah, I mean, the vague recollection I have of that particular tour group is that it took a while to get.
I would imagine
from point A to point B.
And in this picture, you're at least looking at the Centris Family Fun Zone. And no one in this picture else, not even the kid who's working the fun zone, gives a shit about what's happening right here. That's why this picture is just fantastic.
Oh man, yeah. No, seriously, the kid in I'm looking at it right now. This looks like it looks like it was a Wednesday game early in the season.
Yep, game time 12:05. There you go.
Yeah, game time 12:05. Wow. Yeah. No. Yeah. Clearly, I mean, and I'm really giving a good presentation. I'm doing the backwards walk. I'm explaining the prices. Man, I mean,
prices about birthday parties and fun zone, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know how many birthday parties we had after this one.
Oh,
Oh, God, have mercy. Well, hey, you know what? That's why you do the job right there.
sure. Who did you learn your tour from?
Oh, geez. I don't know. Probably like a combo of like Mark Nasser, you,
I didn't give him any tours.
Marty, just Casey, just probably just paying attention to the whole crew. What was the event? Taste tour and tickets.
Yeah.
That's probably
We're
that's
selling
probably the
tastes.
event.
We're selling tastes for $5, right? You get a $5 wristband for unlimited tasting along the tours of the ballpark. And opening day tickets are on sale. That was a good deal. In Lehigh Valley, they had it was Pig Day,
Uh-huh.
and they'd bring in roasted, like a roast pig, like have a pig roast, where
So-
you see the guy hanging out there and you're eating off him. A pig roast.
Okay. See, like looking at this picture here,
Okay.
it's just like so many memories come flooding back.
Yeah, this is a moment in time.
Yeah, this really is a moment in time. Well, seeing the door to the home dugout, and seeing the party patio there, just thinking of all the times.
A completed party patio.
Yeah, well, and just thinking of all the times I had to go there and tell Donnie Barnes or Pollock, yeah, they're not coming to the show today. Bobby,
Here's a layup. Who got angrier? Who got angrier when you told
you know what? Listen, I don't. It's a matter of perspective, honestly. I think it would really depend on, I think, who the guest was relative to how the reaction was. My favorite one of all time, though, was, I don't remember who he was playing for, but Bobby Abreu was in town.
Yeah.
And Pollock was really excited.
Sure.
I mean, he was jacked. And he's, hey, make sure Bobby's ready. Let me know if you need anything. I was like, okay, I got it, man. And so I walk in there, and I usually gave him like a 10-minute warning, because the odds of them having pants on.
I gotta put my shirt on. I gotta put my shirt on.
Yeah,
I gotta eat.
Yeah, you're pretty low. So I go out there, and I try to find Bobby, and I'm like, hey, where is he? And they're like, oh, he's in the back. I'm like, hey, he's doing the show. Does he know? Yeah, he'll be ready. I'm like, okay, well, I'll be back when it's like 5 minutes before the show starts. So I go back, and there he is. He's sitting there like playing cards or something in the middle of the locker room. And I go, all right, hey, Bobby, it's time for the show. And he just looks at me and goes, I'm not fucking doing that. Yeah, oh, okay. Well, nice to meet you.
All right, Bob, thanks.
And then I go to Pollock, and I'm like, hey, no guests today. And I'll let you mind fill in the blanks from there.
I could be totally inventing things, but I feel like it would be good to come back to him, and because like let's say he does the highlights, he runs the Sun Valley spot, comes back to him, and no one's there. Yeah.
Oh God,
That's not going to be a cheerful Brett. It's not going to be a cheerful Brett.
No, it's not. Oh God, and oh man. The other person who I remember doing that was, at least my memory of it is that, hey, my name's Gio, Johnny Giovitella. big league game one time.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, but can you blame him?
Oh, Gio no showed him.
I said, "Hey, Pollock needs you for the show," and he said, "No, he doesn't," and that was that.
I guess he didn't want to participate.
No, I mean, it's. I mean, for the most part, like, I mean, that those were just two like rare occasions for the.
Two pretty stark careers as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but for the most part, everybody else was always just like, "Oh yeah, cool."
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even Alex Gordon was like, "Yeah, sure, okay." That poor guy. I mean,
Yeah, he was coming sort of home. That
well,
was unbelievable. I'll tell you, I've never seen anything like that where you could put one guy's at least at the minor league level, and apparently he wasn't a minor league guy. We weren't there when Manny was there. That probably happened with him.
mm-hmm.
I don't recall like a bigger, even in with the Iron Pigs, any of the big Yankees that came through. I mean, there wasn't that noticeable of a bump.
Yeah, that when I got to Omaha, that was something that really
That was
surprised
crazy.
me because we had Giordano came through on a rehab, and I mean there was a little bit of a price increase, or not, turnstile was a little bit better. Hosmer came through, Moose came through when he got demoted. All these guys were there at one point or another while I was there, and I mean outside of like maybe some more, you know, oh, people looking for signatures, and maybe some
The
more
autograph
kids and stuff
hounds.
like more families coming out.
Yeah.
It didn't really add much, but when Gordo was there, I mean, holy cow! I don't think you'll ever see anything like that again. It was like,
It was crazy.
yeah, remember that. I mean, Jason Kinney. I mean, he was about to have a conniption fit that day because there was some guy parked out, by the breezeway for God knows how long, saying that he was there to hang out with Gordo, that he went to high school with him or whatever. But I'll tell you what, was it his first at bat that he hit that home run,
I don't remember.
or was it his second at bat?
And he hit a home run to send us to the playoffs or keep us alive or something.
No, I don't know if it was anything like that. I just
Oh
remember
no,
like,
I'm sorry. I confused him with Hosmer. Hosmer came down at
oh
the end
yeah,
of 2014. And he was like rehabbing, and he may have won us 2 games at the end of the year.
yeah, and I mean, I remember one of those home runs he hit just straight center, and it was just a rocket. And I was like, I think he's ready to go to the. I think
Go
he's
back
healthy.
up at that point.
Well, and if you recall that year, we clinched the division on a game that ended at like 2 a.m. or something like that.
Remember,
Um,
it was a long year.
it was
It was a
that was a
long
very
year.
long year, and I remember the celebration on the field because we clinched the division, and all the guys out there were like celebrating, and having a great time, and Eric Hosmer was like, I mean, he was like happy for him, but I don't think he was quite as uh, jacked up as everybody else out there was. That's my abiding memory of that.
What about the Marlins, man?
What about him? what, what do you want? What do you want to know about old Lawrence? I mean, what was like? Let me ask you. I mean, you and I, were you at that College World Series game?
Yeah.
So it was you, me, Jason Nicholas, Stormy, and Casey,
And the Marlins, man.
and the Marlins, man.
Do you recall that we gave him his seat at the ballpark, and I think it was the mayor of Sarpy County or the mayor of Papillion
Mm-hmm.
declared it Marlins Man Day.
God, what a guy. You know, like like the memory of the Marlins, man. You know, it's sort of like, and then Daryl Strawberry showed up. You know, it's just sort of like, and there's the Marlins, man, and now he's talking about the troops, and now he's talking about firefighters, and there he goes, and now he's taking pictures with people, and there he goes, yeah. And I mean, that was something like, for those that are listening,
all of
Jason,
you,
yeah, for the millions and millions of viewers at home, Jason Kinney met him at a Chiefs game and was able to set up that promo, and he made it coincide with the College World Series, and that was kind of the hook.
Oh yeah. Give him a whole week.
Yeah, so hey, he'll go up to Omaha for the College World Series. Jason will do stuff, have him come out to the ballpark. You know, hey, cool social media thing, all that sort of stuff. What we wanted him to do was take pictures with Stormy and Casey outside the College World Series at TD Ameritrade. I think it was us that set that up. Somebody just told me you're meeting them at the hotel bar.
It could have been me. It was probably me.
Yeah, so I got a couple of my part-timers because I sure as hell wasn't going to be walking around and Stormy and Casey that day. I mean, he was hotter than all hell out there. And so, you know, I show up and we meet him, and literally it was just him just wandering around, just looking for, wanting people to notice him.
Yeah.
And holy shit, do they? And it just was, that's all it was. And then we went to the game, had a great time.
He was a mascot. He was a mascot walking around with mascots.
Yeah. So
in a downtown city in this great country.
And I don't know if he. I want to be nice, but he definitely thought he was very, very important and a huge part of.
He was.
I mean, he's the Marlins
mayor.
man.
The mayor of Papillion declared a day for him.
It's Marlins Man Day.
Okay.
It'd be like if I was the Chiefs man and the Chiefs told me never to come to a fucking game. And like if me and Andy Reid had like a personal vendetta against each other. Isn't that kind of what his relationship with the Marlins is like at this point?
Yeah, but you know what? He could very well be like the top 10 thing that the Marlins are known for in maybe their history.
That sucks for them.
So,
that really sucks. Yeah, the guy who's trying to buy Marty Cordero's Millennium Falcon is what
That's right.
He was like, he had cash in hand. It's like, Marty, I want this.
No, he cannot be bought.
Yeah,
Marty could not be bought.
No, we
not
cannot.
by the Marlins, man. Not by anybody.
Not by nothing.
So we kind of covered your time in Omaha. We definitely got vignettes through that whole deal. And there was so much we didn't cover. But, all good things, must come to an end.
That's the nature of the game there.
It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast.
I mean,
they say you can't have too much of a good thing. But
is that a Big and Rich lyric?
Is that a Big and Rich quote?
I'm kidding.
No, I don't know.
So, okay, Rob, let me ask you, because we were there in Omaha for approximately the same amount of time, right?
Yep,
more or
just
less.
about.
I think you were there a few months before me, and then we both kind of left at the start of 2017 or 16 or whatever. What were your like 2 or 3 or 4 like favorite promos, moments, whatever out there?
I always, I mean, it's a go-to, the All-Star Game, and then the All-Star Game was its little season within a season. You know, there was there was a night that we came back from the AAA All-Star Game in Durham, and it was on a Thursday. It was a Thursday morning, and we had a late Thursday night game, 8:05 for the CBS Sports Network, I think.
Uh-huh.
And there was some. I think that was the time of your little.
Daddy Daughter
Shouldn't say
Princess
little. I
night.
shouldn't say little. I should not say little. I apologize. But for your Daddy Daughter Princess night, the famous Taylor unpaid intern, Fun Bunch member, captain, maybe captain of the Fun Bunch at that point.
Yeah.
You know,
It was,
it's
well, me and
basically,
Aaron.
we're
It was me
coming
and Aaron
home.
Luther.
Oh, that's
I
right.
think,
And
and Hunter.
you know, you got paper forms with credit card processing, credit card payments, and the night has grown into something, you know, taken on a life of its own. With that was the Frozen year, or the beginning of the Frozen years. Was that night? Was that Thursday night?
It was a Friday night because it was
There
it
was
was a fireworks
CBS.
night.
Maybe that was the next night, because then
Fireworks on the field.
when did we retire? Oh no, that was later. I was saying Jersh's retirement, but I got that confused. That's probably the top two nights I could remember.
I'll tell you what.
say
I'll tell you
you.
what. One night, and this is part of the course for me because I always skew towards the miserable.
and I'm not gonna okay. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say.
Yeah, no, we're resolved not to talk about that. But two of you know what? Yeah, 2 nights that I'll never ever ever forget was the Albuquerque Isotopes game where it rained so hard for it had to have been like 2 hours, and the entire stadium flooded, and there were like lost children.
Stadium flooded
and,
with lost.
yeah,
Were there
like,
locusts? Were there locusts too?
Yeah, and there were the people were hiding in bathrooms, and it was just
Oh, you had a severe weather.
yeah, it was just, I mean, it was just absolute total mayhem. And one of the rules is that like the unpaid interns weren't allowed to pull tarp. Like,
That's right. But you cannot get hurt. Cannot
yeah,
get hurt doing that.
yeah, at least doing that because in you know, it started like raining kind of light, and I'm sitting there next to Casey and Noah, and Noah's looking at the weather radar, and he's about like he's like white as a ghost. He's like, oh my god, this is awful, because I mean it looked like it was just torrential downpour headed our way, and you could see the sky was green and it looked terrible, and these umpires just taking their time, calling strikes and balls and outs as slow as possible.
Balls.
Well, and like all hell breaks loose, and they're like pulling tarp, and it's windy, and Casey looks at me and she says, "Get the hell out of here now!" And that was my first time pulling tarp. And then like one of my second favorite memories is the Warner Enterprises memorial concert. Big and
Memorial.
Rich, or not memorial, 50th anniversary,
Yeah,
whatever.
it was an
Their
anniversary.
huge concert, the Big and Rich concert. That entire week was just an absolute.
What were you doing for that?
I mean, I, oh well, I was Parmalee's chauffeur that week that day.
Were they were driving around? They were driving around during the day looking for a guitar.
That was big,
light on fire.
that was Big and Rich looking for a guitar.
Yeah.
Parmalee, I took like one dude fishing.
Oh,
and took
Parmalee.
him
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Took the guy fishing. Good for you.
yeah. But like my biggest memory of the Big and Rich week was just like getting the like. Were you around for getting the stage onto the field and like the truck?
I think we were.
Like,
Yeah,
we
we were like wedging that. We were trying to wedge the truck down the ramp, from what I remember.
Yeah, and it like bottomed out, and then we had to take the bridge off.
I wasn't there when the bridge came off. I'll say that.
Yeah, and then
I don't know where I was.
we were like laying track in front of it, and Noah looked like he looked very sad, and
Very sad.
laying all that stuff on the infield, and having to getting there at what time did we get there that day? It felt like it was 6 a.m. and there was a Sean Fitzpatrick, in his, I think it was Sean at that time, but in his infinite wisdom, it might not. He might have already moved on. We scheduled a 5K at the ballpark the next morning, right? So I didn't get out of the stadium until 1. Well, I didn't get dismissed from my work until 1. I slept under my desk and was up at 5:30 a.m. Yeah, I slept at my desk that night.
I never slept at a stadium.
Yeah. I brought a little pillow and a little blanket and slept at my desk, and then was up and working at a 5K. And then Stava looked at me when the 5K got rolling. I was like, go help them on the field. And we were pulling up the tiling, and the field was wrecked, absolutely wrecked. There were divots in the field, the depth of actual baseballs, and I thought Noah was gonna cry. So those are a couple of my favorite.
You feel bad. You feel bad for them. You feel bad for the groundskeepers. You feel bad for the the field and what you're doing to it. I get the happy medium is, to me, just wait till after the season, just to give it a chance to get back. That's my that's my pro groundskeeper. But then I love something that I heard from. His name escapes me at the moment. He's from El Paso. He's like the special events of like their whole company. I think it's El Paso. One of the good teams, El Paso or Round Rock. Where he said, you do not do things based on what the groundskeeper, like the groundskeeper can't be the general manager,
Yeah.
It's the groundskeeper's job to say, no. But you're the general manager. You're the general manager, so you know that.
Oh, absolutely.
So you have nothing. You're just strictly on sales of sports properties.
Yeah. So similar to like a Learfield, IMG, or a Van Wagner. I'm employed by a company called Peak Sports Management, which is owned by our awesome owners, Ryan and Kara Holloway, and they're based out of Frisco, Texas. And they run some pretty cool events. The Round Rock Classic.
Yeah.
The Frisco Classic, which you might see coming up.
Was they supposed to have a bowl game?
So that would be. It's a college. There are a couple of college baseball tournaments.
Right. I heard that. I know the baseball one you mentioned, but were they supposed to have a bowl game? I think they may have. I think they may have been.
No.
this past year? No.
That might be something that has been like hinted at, but that might be coming down the pike. Uh, Definitely not this year after the
Yeah.
year we had. So, but yeah, so what we do, uh, we handle all the sports marketing in terms of sales and execution from a certain level at here in Pittsburgh and at quite a few other schools across the country. Uh, Includes Murray State, University of Central Arkansas, Lamar, Southeast Louisiana, um, Missouri Western, Dixie State out in St. George, Utah, um, the Wofford, the Citadel.
Wofford.
Yeah, Wofford. And we're growing, into Alabama. We're
Who
growing
do you
into
have here?
what?
Who do you have here?
That's proprietary information.
Oh,
sir.
okay. Never mind them.
We're growing into Florida with Florida A&M. So we're really it's a really cool time for this company, even coming out of this whole coronavirus stuff, because we're still on like a growth trajectory.
I can't
Yeah,
hear trajectory without thinking of W. It's
really.
you know
Well, we will find the evildoers who have. But anyway,
yeah.
so yeah, what I do as part of the team though is I am in charge of the sports sales, marketing, all that kind of stuff down here in Pittsburgh for the Gorillas. Um, we're one of the I'd like to consider us a pretty high tier, high leverage Division II program, multiple time national champion, pretty the winningest program at the Division II level, winningest program in the state of Kansas. With some other great opportunities beyond just football. Our women and men's basketball teams are.
How's the baseball team?
You know what? They're on the rise. I think they were picked fourth in the conference.
Who is the manager? Coach?
His name's Bob Fiorelli. He used to be the coach at Emporia State until a couple years ago. He's been here as long as I have, so since 2018.
Let me ask you this: do you have any fans allowed in any games this year? Have you had fans in any of your buildings?
Yeah, we worked. And this is a credit to our athletic director, Jim Johnson,
Okay.
as well as the leadership at
Everyone, sure.
but I mean our health department, Dr. Scott, our president. I mean,
Fauci.
everyone worked really hard. I'm just trying to give
Dr. Fauci.
credit too.
Right.
I'm political,
Sorry.
man. But seriously, they worked really hard in order for us to have about I want to say it was like 25% at our football game that we were able to host on Halloween, and we've had about 25%. We're allowed 25% attendance at our basketball events, and then from a baseball perspective, our attendance isn't quite as
Right. Baseball's a
Problem.
tough draw at the college level unless you're an SEC school, probably a couple of ACC schools. I mean, Lincoln, they do pretty good out there.
They do
for
all right.
baseball.
and they have a really nice stadium there.
They have, and speaking of friends, they have the great Nick Hanley, part of their broadcast.
Of course,
Sure.
I mean that's reason enough.
So that's good.
So yeah, that's the rundown on what I do and Peak Sports and
Okay.
all that
Well,
jazz.
good luck. Good luck. We'd love to, on behalf of minor league baseball, we say hello.
Oh, that's
We're here.
so
We're
kind.
here. We're here if you need anything. And good luck this Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, luck doesn't work and skill will suffice. But I'm just really excited for the game. Really, really excited for the game. Hope it's better than the Royal Rumble on Sunday for me personally.
It wasn't a good show?
Uh,
You're not going to get a better show than what you saw on Sunday. Like,
man,
what was bad? What was bad?
you know what? Maybe I'm just not a super big fan of like.
Who don't you like?
I love Edge, but he was on the mat the whole match, and then like, what? Yeah, maybe I'm just salty because neither of my. I was sitting there with 22 and 28 in our pool, and I got nothing.
Yeah, let's see.
Absolutely nothing. So that might. And the Kevin Owens and Reigns match was so good until the end. That handcuff spot really just.
Yeah. So, apparently the handcuff was on the other side, like it flipped over. They with the keyhole was on the inside, like between the inside of the wrist and the ribs versus facing out.
Man, because that was a great match.
I wouldn't say it ruined the match either. Like, it was what it was. They got through it. It worked.
Yeah.
It was a little long for your liking. So what did you have here? You had you got Bailey in at 1 in the women's Rumble.
And they didn't even show her getting eliminated. They had to show it on replay.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I saw that. I saw the note on that. They didn't have a great production night because I saw somebody in one of the Rumbles, and you can imagine with all the people flying around that, something like that is liable to happen. But I saw like a camera. The camera shaked inadvertently.
Yeah. It's sort of like when AJ Styles made his triumphant debut at the Royal Rumble a few years ago.
What happened
and
with
instead of keeping the camera on the frickin' stage, they cut to Roman Reigns reacting to AJ Styles walking out. That's how I felt when they didn't show Bailey going out, because I was so mad.
Does AJ Styles have a WrestleMania match right now?
I do not know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So
you got that, and then who'd you wind up getting otherwise?
I had Lashley
and Cesaro. Who
I can't remember who went in 28. Cesaro. Yeah, as soon as it was Cesaro, I was like, well, there's no chance here. I thought maybe, like, my only hope was, like, maybe him getting some eliminations, but
yeah. He's gonna come in like a house of fire and start tossing bodies, but no. They gave that spot. In my one complaint, they gave that spot to Kane.
Oh, God, Jesus. He looked awful.
Yeah.
Awful. I mean, like, how many IPAs has he been drinking, man? Like,
he didn't look that bad.
He didn't look that good either, my friend. So
he puts the mask on. He's got the hair coming out of the mask.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's that's the Royal Rumble.
That's the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got coming up next? What's going on right now?
Man, after the Super Bowl, once the Super Bowl, I'm really just focused on the Super Bowl right now.
Okay. All right. Well, we're on to Tampa.
We're
on to Tampa. All right.
We're on to Tampa.
Good luck to you. I can't say I'm rooting for the same team.
I just want your prediction to be right. As
a fan of a team in the Super Bowl, I definitely wish you luck.
Thank you.
All
I appreciate you, Rob.
We'll talk.
This has been a presentation of The Minor Side of Life. We kindly ask for your support of this program by subscribing to the show on your preferred podcast player, joining the newsletter list at minorside.com, and following The Minor Side on social media. Plus, you can always visit theminorside.com for exclusive content and more. Thank you for listening.